Okay. So now let's say I want to, okay, I want to create an object and I want to keep track of how many objects are created. I want to keep track how many objects are created. Okay. And we call it as population. Okay. Let's say we call it as population. So you have person and I say population, and initially it will be 0, isn't it? Okay. And now I want to create a function. Okay. And I call it as initialize in it. Global value for the class. So it's a class value. Yes, it's a global value within the class. Yes. Okay. So so this is where we will use it for initializing all the variables. Okay. So let's say we define name here. Okay. So we'll pass name. Okay. And name, and let's say age here. Okay. So when I say name and age, so now when you create local variable self dot name equal to name, and I'm saying self dot age equal to age, right? So these are the things that I want to define the moment, okay, you get or you create an object. Okay. So now to create an object, I have to, okay. Now when you are creating this object, same time I have to say class, right? So in this case, I have to say person dot population equal to population plus 1. So see here I have used person, not CLS. Why didn't we use CLS here? Correct. No. So population is only increasing, but I'm referring population as class name dot. Yesterday we did CLS dot, but here I'm doing class name dot. So this is a object level function, right? In it is an object level. How do you know object level? I've written self. So here, since I've written self, I cannot use class here because the class is not there. Remember yesterday what we did was we created class method. So when you use class method, then CLS will be available. When you create class method will be available. When you create object method, object self will be available. I cannot use self in class method and I cannot use CLS in object method. Okay. How do you remember is the first word that you see, only that we can use. Understand, Pavni? Okay. Now see here. Here you can use ABC also. Yeah. I'm just put in it to initialize. Okay. To represent it, you can put anything. But what I'm saying is, if you say ABC here, you can give ABC. Yes. Now in this case, see, there is no hard and fast rule that you have to write self only. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to write CLS only. What it says is, whatever you write here, that will refer to object. Whatever you write here. If you write XYZ, it becomes XYZ. Okay. So whatever you write, that will be used. But general practice is, it's always go with the practice, right? We say self. Otherwise, what happens is, if you have written the program, I may not know why you're using ABC. But for Python, if you write ABC, writes ABC here. Okay, that is one. Second thing, did I put class method on? Did I put class method here? No. So I did not put class method. That means it is a object. Okay. If it was not to be object, class method at the rate class method. Pavni, you are with me. Are you getting time to practice?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm here.
Great. Okay. So because we don't we have not defined class paths. It is object. Okay. And whatever you give here, that you have to give here. Okay. For the object level. And non-object level, you have to say class name dot. Okay. So now we have class name dot. Perfect. Okay. Now population is is obviously class level, so I'm increasing. So logically, what I'm doing? Tell me, what am I doing logically here? I'm creating a class called person, and I've created a population which is tracking, which is getting incremented every time init is called. Okay, every time init is called, this population is getting increased by 1. Now I go back and I create your object. So I'm saying p1 equal to person. Okay, p1 equal to person, and now I'm saying p1 dot init. Init takes 2 values, name and age, right? So I'll say Sachin, and I say 48. Okay. Now I'll add one function called as def population, display population. It will only display population. Okay. Now display population will print not self dot. Population is not object based, right? Total count of objects, okay, equal to, it's going to be person dot population. Okay. Now I'm only displaying the population. I'm not displaying name or age, anything. So this class can be treated as your like your class method. Yes, because so if your number of times you call init, this will increase. Even if I say p1 dot init only, it'll become 2 times. Even if I say p1 dot, now I say Virat dot 21. So what I'm doing, basically I'm changing the value which I'm passing earlier. But when I say p1 dot display pop, and when you run it, so it's saying 2. Because since we called init twice, it actually called population twice. Okay, it called population twice. Okay. Yes, Pavni?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
here only.
Okay. Now, let's say in this case, okay, okay, so now in this case, okay, so this, I was saying that display pop is displaying which population? Global population, right? Class level population. So in that case, it is a class method basically. So technically, we should say class method, right? And when you say class method, then self will not be there. You can say CLS. Okay, with me? And when CLS is there, okay, then you don't have to say person, you can say CLS dot. Anyway, it's class level. Okay, when you run it, no change, you get same thing. Just I'm saying, because you're not planning to use it for any other thing. Are you planning? No, you're not planning for any other thing. Okay, If you're not planning for any other thing, then you can directly say what? Class method here. Okay. Okay, so this is your simple class. Now, see this init, if you see, okay, init is something that we want to call it automatically. See, generally, when you create an object, there are few things that gets added automatically, right? So in this case, let's say name and age, I want to add automatically. Name and age, I want to add automatically when an object is created. So, sorry. No, we need name. But what I'm saying is, I want this init to be called automatically. Okay, we want to call this automatically. Okay, then how do I call automatically? So you have a inbuilt method, okay, call underscore init underscore init underscore. What is the advantage of calling this? It's called constructor. Okay, in object oriented language concept, this is called as constructor. Okay, and when you say constructor, you don't have to call it. Okay, you don't have to call it. It automatically calls init. When does it call init? The moment you create the object. In which line are we creating object? In which line am I creating object?
12.
12. I'm creating object in line number 12. This is where I'm creating object. No, P1 is object. So line number 12 is where I'm creating object. Okay. So when you're creating line number 12 object, okay, here so this 12, this is calling init automatically. Double underscore init. This is also called as magic function. Okay. And there are a whole lot of magic function. We'll talk about it towards the end of our class topic. Okay. They have a predefined meaning. Okay. And you don't have to call them. They are called automatically. So what I'll do here, now here you see not required because we have no init function. Okay. And when you create an object, init is called. So now this init needs name and age, right? So we have to pass values here. Now if you try to run it, you get error saying that init missing 2 required positional argument. Init needs 2 required positional argument. 2 arguments are missing. So you will say here person name Sachin. No. So see, there are few things which you will need to create at the time of initialization, right? So you're doing a library program. Okay, in library program, you're writing a class for accepting books. So you already know when you create a book, what information do you need? You need book author, book title, book price, ISBN number, all those things, right? So those are predefined terms which you will anyway enter when you create object. So all those things will be given in init.
Like that, we added multiple values.
No. See, when you are creating something, then you need to add only one value. No. Later you can add multiple values. Later you can add one more. To add later, you can create one more function. One more method you have to call. See, init is called automatically. Right? So now let's say I put name as Sachin. Now if I have to change the name to something else, I have to create one more dev called edit details. Editing only, no. See, name, passing.
Editing, we are replacing such.
Correct. See, P1 dot init we call. No, P1 dot init, P1 dot init. P1 means what? We are replacing Sachin with Virat. See, simple thing. You answer me question. Are you creating one object or two object? One object means what? P1 dot Virat. Now again, if you're saying P1 means what? You're editing. No. How can you create two names with the same person? Can I have one person with two names? Can I have 2% with one name? 2% with one. So person means what? Object. So I can create two object with Sachin name, but I can't create one object with two names. So you can't create one object with two names. So what I did earlier was I called P1 dot init, P1 dot init. I'm calling P1 only. No, P1 means you're editing the old value. P1 name is Sachin. Again, you're saying P1 name. P1 name Virat. So Sachin is replaced with Virat. That's what I did in the example when I started. So if you want to edit, you can create another method called edit, and then you can give name here. Name, age. Now, if you do not call this, it will not be changed. And if you want to change it, you call it. Now, to edit it, you have to specifically call edit details. Okay? But if you don't call edit details, then whatever you give at the time of initialization, whatever you give time of initialization is there, right? So see, earlier I did P1 dot init, P1 dot init. I'm calling same object twice. So old value will be replaced with new values. I was editing only. I was not creating different copy. Different copy will be created when you do P2 dot equal to person. When you create another P2, now I'm creating one more copy. Okay, when you create a new object, only a new copy is created. So here if I say Virat, okay, and I say 29, okay, now this is where I'm creating another object. And when you create another object, init is called automatically. So init is constructor, okay, so when you say constructor in object-oriented programming language, it means it's a function or a method which is called automatically when you create an object. Okay, and this is very powerful because, like, you know, these values you will automatically, sometimes you might forget to call, right? So if you forget to call, then object is not created completely. And second thing is, when you use you know, so one thing is creating object, okay, second thing is like population, you know, now if I have to call init twice, population count was getting increased by 2, which should not happen. You create only one object, so only one object should be there. So this will have statements which you want to execute only once. So first advantage is it is called automatically. So even if you forget, it is taken care of. And second thing is if you call twice, okay, again a problem, right? Exactly one time we have to call. So generally all the initialization should happen here in init. Init is called automatically, and all the initialization should happen here. Okay. So now if I have to edit details, I will call edit details. The edit details doesn't have % population plus 1, right? So your population count will not falsely increase by 2. Okay. Now when I say, okay, let me add P3 also. P3, and I say person Rohit, and when you run it, so total object is what? 1. Why? I ran P3 before creating P2 and P3. P1 dot display pop, right? Display pop is creating before P2 and P3. Obviously, at that point of time, we have only one object. Okay. Now, if I Control X and I paste it at the end. Now, 3. Yes. Okay. So you have 3 objects. Okay. Now let's add some logic to it. So let's say you want to find you know, person, and person, okay, okay, let's change it to employee, okay, and you can have two types of employees. Later we'll see that, you know, you have part-time and full-time, or yeah. So let's change it to employee. Okay, so I'll change it to employee here. Okay, employee, employee, employee. Okay. Now let's say what all details employee we need to add: name, age, let's say salary. Name, age, and salary. Okay. So salary we add here. Okay. Now edit details, so we'll add salary also. So in case, you know, details are added, so we'll say and salary. Okay. Now we'll write one more method called get salary. So let's say I want to get salary of each employees. Self, and here it's say return self dot salary. So this is a simple function which returns self dot salary. Okay. Now, so here I have to add salary also, right? Okay. I have to add salary 1500. Okay. 1400 and 1300. Okay. Now I want to find, okay, I want to find whose salary is highest. How will I do? Comparison. Okay. I want to find which salary is highest, whose salary is highest. Okay. So we have three salaries: P1, P2, P3. Correct. So what I can do is, now if I have to print salary of P1, employee 1, equal to get salary. Okay. Okay. And you run it. Oh, P1, right? I need to change it to P2 and P3. Correct. So you have the values here. Once you have the values here, then you can directly check. You can do a loop and you can find the highest salary, isn't it? Now let's say, okay, so this is one example. Now, as a class, okay, I do not want salary to be accessible outside the class. Okay, I don't want my salary to be shown outside the class. So what I can do is I can go here and create double underscore. Okay. Double underscore. Okay. Let's say I put double underscore here, or let's put double underscore here. Okay. Since it is here, let me put it here. This is only for reading, right? Not for writing. Now, if I run this, it says employee self is not defined. Where is employee self is not defined? Here. Okay. Self is to indicate that it is same object, right? But I want to put variables into I have to change the variable, right? So where should I use underscore? Self or salary? Salary. I need to put double underscore at the salary, not at the self. Okay. So now I put, okay, 1 second. So I was saying that now here if I put self is getting changed. I want to change the variable. So I put double underscore here. Now when you run this, of course, employee has no attribute double underscore salary, right? So I have to go and let's try to get double underscore here. Okay. Now what happens? Okay. 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 I'll put double underscore here also. Okay. So now double underscore is everywhere, right? Now when you run it, okay, what happened? Yeah, when I say get salary, I got this, right? Now earlier, if you see, we were able to print P1 dot salary, isn't it? P1 dot salary. Okay, double underscore salary. Earlier we were able to print it. So when you run it now, it says object has no attribute salary. See, if I remove double underscore, if I remove double underscore from everywhere, okay, if I remove double underscore from everywhere, okay, so I'm just putting salary, right? And when you run it, okay, P1 salary, you are getting it. And P1 dot get salary also, you're getting it, right? Correct? Now, let me start putting double underscore everywhere. Double underscore to salary everywhere. Double underscore to salary everywhere. I have put double underscore salary here also. Okay. Now, when you run it, okay, this is giving error, right? But get salary is giving us the output. So what happens is in class and objects, we talk about encapsulation. Okay, encapsulation is a concept where you hide the data. Encapsulation. So I was talking about yesterday about car, right? When you drive the car, you need to know how accelerator works, how brake works. Okay, so if you press, what happens? You don't have to get into details of working. So what happens is, if you want to hide some information, okay, then we can use this constant underscore. Okay, so you have 3 types of what you call it's called access modifier. Access modifiers means, okay, how to give access to these members. Okay, members can be both variables and methods. Okay, you're giving access. So there are 3 types of access. 3 types of access. Okay, public, okay, private, and protected. Public means available to all, inside the class, outside the class. So when we did not give the underscore, right? When you give a variable just like that, okay, it is public. Okay, so simple variable name. Okay, simple variable name is public type. So Python manages this accessibility or using underscore sign. If it is no underscore is there before, okay, not after, only before, then it's called public. To make it private, you have to give double underscore. To make it private, you have to give double underscore. Then protected, single underscore. Now, Python does not enforce protected. Okay, does not enforce. So, practically, in theory, they have. In theory, they have underscore, single underscore, protected. But in practicality, they follow only public and private. So, private members are accessible only to class. No, to the class, given class. So, get salary. We are able to get salary here, right? So, get salary is a member of this class. So, even though this is private, get salary can access it. Edit details can access it because part of the same class. Part of tomorrow we'll talk about inheritance where part of different class cannot access it. Okay. So, but get salary is what? Public. Get salary is public. What we're calling get salary only. So since get salary is public, object cannot, how can you make object private? Object private means don't create it. No. So object is different, members are different. Object is like Apple, right? I will not teach you Apple. So it is like private, you don't know. The work that the military does is all hidden, right? That is like a private object. We don't know what they're doing, right? That is a hidden, that is a private object. What is available, what you can see is public. So object level, we don't have this concept. The concept that we talked about is at the members of the object level. Okay. So since get salary is public, we are able to access this get salary. If I make get salary also as private, then if I call get salary, you will not get the value here. Okay. Now, what I meant was protected only one underscore, right? Not object name, member name. No, where is object name? Okay. Here when I say p1 dot, okay, do you see get salary? No. So when you say underscore, theoretically it is not showing you because it's protected. Protected can be used within the class, outside the class, which is inheriting it, not anybody. So logically it is not available for us. But practically I said that if you type get salary, okay, it is available for us to use. Okay, so this is your get salary, okay, private method. So today we discussed about public and protected and private. So private is not accessible, but public and protected are accessible in the main. Okay, so we'll stop here today.